In a small village called Ujiji, there lived a woman named Amina. Amina was kind and always helped her neighbors. But there was one thing Amina wished for more than anything else in the world: a child of her own. She prayed every night and went to every healer in the village, hoping her dream would come true. One day, Amina visited an old healer named Baba Obi. Baba Obi lived at the edge of the forest and was known for his powerful magic. Amina explained her deep desire to have a child. Baba Obi listened carefully and then handed her a small, carved wooden box. "Take this home and open it at midnight," Baba Obi instructed. "Inside, you will find a magic seed. Plant it in your garden, and soon you will have a child." Amina thanked Baba Obi and hurried home. That night, she followed his instructions and planted the magic seed in her garden. To her amazement, the very next morning, she found a beautiful baby girl lying among the flowers. Amina named her Zoe, which means beautiful in Swahili. Zoe grew quickly, and Amina was the happiest she had ever been. But as the days passed, Amina began to notice strange things about her daughter. Zoe never cried or laughed like other babies. Her eyes, though bright and pretty, had a mysterious glow. One evening, while Amina was preparing dinner, she heard a soft whisper behind her. She turned and saw Zoe standing there, even though she was just a baby. Zoe's eyes glowed brighter than ever, and her voice was not like a child's. "Mother," Zoe said, "I am not like other children. You must be careful." Amina was frightened but loved Zoe too much to care about the strange things. She held her daughter close and promised to protect her. As the months went by, Zoe's powers grew stronger. She could move objects with her mind and even made plants grow just by touching them. The villagers noticed the strange happenings and whispered among themselves, but Amina kept Zoe hidden, fearing they would take her away. One stormy night, lightning flashed, and the wind howled. Amina woke up to find Zoe standing at the window, looking out at the forest. "Mother," Zoe said, "something is coming for me. You must let me go." Amina refused, holding Zoe tightly. "No, my child," she said. "I will never let you go." Suddenly, the door burst open, and Baba Obi appeared. His eyes were wide with fear. "Amina," he shouted, "you must let the child go. She is not meant to be here." Amina shook her head. "She is my daughter. I can't lose her." Baba Obi stepped closer, his voice trembling. "If you don't, it will be the end of you." But Amina's love for Zoe was too strong. She stood her ground, refusing to give up her precious child. Then, a blinding light filled the room, and Amina felt a sharp pain in her chest. She looked down to see Zoe's glowing eyes one last time before she collapsed. Amina's last thought was of her love for Zoe, and then everything went dark. In the days that followed, the villagers found Amina's lifeless body and Zoe missing. Some said the forest had taken them both, while others believed Zoe had returned to where she truly belonged. The villagers mourned Amina and spoke of her bravery and love for her child, and so, the story of Amina and Zoe was told for generations, a tale of love, magic, and the mysterious forces of nature. The villagers whispered about the strange events for many years. Some believed that Zoe had returned to the magical realm she came from, while others thought she still roamed the forest, protecting it with her powers. One day, a young boy named Kofi was exploring near the edge of the forest. Kofi had heard the stories about Amina and Zoe and was curious. He ventured deeper into the forest, hoping to find some trace of the mysterious girl with glowing eyes. As Kofi walked through the dense trees, he heard a soft singing. He followed the sound until he reached a small clearing. There, in the center, was a girl about his age, with eyes that glowed like stars. It was Zoe. "Hello," Kofi said, stepping into the clearing. "Are you Zoe?" Zoe turned to him, her eyes shining. "Yes, I am Zoe. Who are you?" "I'm Kofi," he replied. I've heard stories about you and your mother. Is it true that you have magical powers? Zoe nodded. It's true. My mother loved me very much, but my powers were too strong for the human world. Kofi sat down beside her. What happened to you after your mother, after she passed away? Zoe looked sad. When my mother died, I felt her love and her pain. The forest took me in and became my home. Now, I protect it and keep it safe. Kofi was amazed. Can you show me your powers? Zoe smiled and held out her hand. A small flower sprouted from the ground and bloomed in her palm. Kofi watched in awe as the flower glowed with a soft light. That's incredible, Kofi said. Do you ever get lonely? Zoe sighed. Sometimes. But I know this is where I belong. The forest is my family now. Kofi felt a strong urge to help Zoe. Maybe I can visit you sometimes. We could be friends. Zoe's eyes brightened. I would like that, Kofi. But you must be careful. The forest can be dangerous for those who don't understand its magic. Kofi nodded. I promise to be careful. And I'll bring you stories from the village so you won't feel so lonely. From that day on, Kofi visited Zoe often. They became close friends, sharing stories and adventures in the magical forest. Zoe taught Kofi about the secrets of the forest, and Kofi brought news from the village, keeping Zoe connected to the world she had left behind. As the years passed, the villagers noticed changes in the forest. It seemed more vibrant and full of life. They began to believe that Zoe, the magical girl, was still out there, protecting the land. Kofi grew up and became a wise young man, known for his deep understanding of the forest. He continued to visit Zoe, and together, they ensured that the magic of the forest remained strong and that Amina's love and sacrifice were never forgotten. One day, a terrible drought struck the village. Crops withered, and the river dried up. The villagers were desperate and turned to Kofi for help. Kofi, the village elder, said, "You have a special bond with the forest. Can you ask Zoe to help us?" Kofi agreed and set off into the forest. He found Zoe near a stream, her eyes filled with concern. "Zoe, the village needs your help. There is a drought, and the people are suffering." Zoe closed her eyes and took a deep breath. "I will do everything I can, Kofi. But remember, magic is powerful and must be used wisely." Zoe called upon the forces of nature, and soon dark clouds gathered in the sky. Rain began to fall, soaking the dry earth. The villagers rejoiced, grateful for the miracle. Kofi returned to the village, bringing the news of Zoe's help. The villagers celebrated, knowing they were blessed to have such a powerful guardian watching over them, and so, the bond between the village and the magical forest grew stronger. Kofi and Zoe's friendship endured, a symbol of the love and sacrifice that had brought them together. The story of Amina, Zoe, and Kofi became a legend, reminding everyone of the power of love, friendship, and the magic that lies within the heart of the forest. The years went by, and Kofi and Zoe's friendship remained strong. They continued to protect the forest and the village together, ensuring that both flourished in harmony. One day, as Kofi and Zoe sat by the river, an old woman approached them. She had kind eyes and a gentle smile. Kofi recognized her immediately. It was Baba Obi. "Baba Obi," Kofi said, standing up to greet her. "What brings you here?" Baba Obi looked at Zoe with a mixture of sadness and pride. "I came to see you, Zoe. You have grown into a powerful protector of the forest. Your mother would be proud." Zoe smiled softly. "I miss her every day, Baba Obi. But I know she is with me in spirit." Baba Obi nodded. "She is, Zoe. And she wanted me to give you something." She reached into her bag and pulled out a small, glowing stone. "This is a piece of your mother's love and magic. It will help you when you need it most. Zai took the stone and held it close to her heart. Thank you, Baba Obi. I will cherish it always. Baba Obi turned to Kofi. And you, Kofi, have been a true friend to Zari. Your bond has kept the village and forest united. Remember, your friendship is a powerful force. With those words, Baba Obi smiled and walked back into the forest, disappearing among the trees. The village and forest continued to thrive, thanks to Kofi and Zai's dedication. The drought ended, and the crops grew abundant again. The villagers often spoke of the magical girl and the wise young man who protected them. As time went on, Kofi and Zai's legend grew. They were known as the guardians of the forest and the village, their story passed down from generation to generation. The glowing stone became a symbol of their bond, a reminder of the love and magic that started it all. In the end, Zai and Kofi's tale was not just a story of magic, but a story of friendship, love, and the enduring connection between people and nature. And as long as the forest stood, their legacy would live on, inspiring all who heard it to believe in the power of love and the magic within themselves.